Greetings, Saints of the Beloved. It is December 11th, 2021. I'm Charlemagne. Welcome to the fourth quarter. This channel gives you the insights of revelation, the plans and strategies from the playbook of God to execute the restoration of our nation. Take your positions and get in the game. I wanted to share with you a revelation that God gave to me by dream, and share with you plans and purposes of God for the hour that we're living. Because of the sensitive nature of the contents of the dream, I can basically just give you a synopsis of this dream. In this dream, I was in a vantage point where I was able to see a medical procedure taking place. I saw an arm that looked like a doctor's arm with a doctor's lab coat and light blue gloves with what do they call that? An instrument with a device at the end. There was a medical procedure taking place with a woman who was having that procedure done. She seemed aware of what was going on, completely mentally aware of what was going on. She was not being forced to do what she was doing. After the procedure was done and the woman became aware of what had taken place, apparently, by deception, she ripped out the device. The dream then switches, often as dreams do, to another scene where I was seeing play out what seemed to be my vantage point in this part of the dream was as if I was slightly above, standing above, seeing above two teenagers, two young people, 20 or younger, or slightly more older than 20, it appeared to be in a television control room. And they were, based on how they were dressed and their activity, it looked like they were about to do a workout. The young man was, these two young people, was a young man and young girl, standing side by side. The young man looked as if he was operating a control panel in front of him. He kept looking up at what I think was television screens, and looking down, manipulating what was on the control panel, while the young lady was standing beside him. They were dressed in shorts and a top, but they were behaving in such a way that was kind of lewd. I knew in the dream that because they were in a control room and they were behind television screens, that they were, in a control room when commercials, television programs are put on nationally for the television audience to see. No one sees what's going on in the control room. They only see what they want you to see. Commercials and cuts and things like this. Well, in this scene, these two young people weren't aware that they were being watched and they were being seen behind the scenes. They then turned around and walked toward the door of the control room to leave the room, and their backsides were showing. They also had in the room with them a handful of other people, a couple of children, an adult or two. So I was aware of what this dream was speaking about. There's about to be a major news in the medical world being unveiled. God's going to pull back the veil, peel back the curtain for him to show what's been going on in the medical community, specifically as it has to do with women's health and women's fertility and reproduction. He's going to pull back the curtains to show what they have been doing, what their intentions were, how they were trying to control and manipulate what the American public and the world saw, so that they didn't know what their intentions were. They didn't have the full picture. They were informed of everything that they were doing in this, as it applies to medicine and women's health and fertility and reproduction. They've been lewd, they've been arrogant, and they have been manipulating what the American public has been seeing, and not just recently, for quite some time. The time has come where God's now going to break that open for everyone to see, and they're going to be able to peer into all their lewdness and what their global plans were and what their agenda has been with these medical procedures. He is going to bring out their shame and show what they intended with the children and generations to come and all those who participated. He is also going to reveal the hand that was been pulling the strings. I told you in the beginning there was a hand, looked like a doctor's hand who, I described the details of the arm that came out with, I forgot the name of that device. Basically, he's going to reveal whose hand that was, who has been pulling the strings, who's responsible for the money behind these things, the money behind the agenda to put these things in motion. It will be worldwide. It will be on all televisions. It will be on all media outlets, social media, what have you. God is going to blow the lid, and it is going to be a wonderful thing to be informed, because once it is, there are going to be many people that were once deceived, that once went along with the agenda because they weren't informed with all the knowledge, all the information that was being held back from them, and they are going to be people that move forward with making change, creating change, and part of the exposure and all the things that will happen as a result of the fallout of this information being made known and being brought to the public. This is all the things that God is doing to show his handiwork in the debacle of the things of recent events, as well as things that have been going on for decades. So I wanted to come on here and inform you of that, and tell you what God is doing, the latest things that God is revealing, and what God is doing. I want to remind you to turn off the pagan news and turn on God's news. Who have believed our report, and to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? It is God's prophets, the mouthpiece for the hour. God bless you.